Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're going to look at two sets, 43292 Pua and 43293 Kakamori. Now there is a high set out there for all the Moana fans, but this is a good representation because the Kakamora is a $40 set, and it kind of doesn't really need the other two sets since they were kind of the bad guys in Moana. But if you're going to go for the Pua, this is going to be $70 and High is going to be $40. Now, if you're a big fan of Moana, then you'll probably get all three. But I would say Pua kind of needs High more than the Kakamoras need the other two. So just keep in mind. Now, these are all very much display sets. There is very limited amount of playability when it comes to any of these sets. So for mobility, each Kakamora is essentially built the same. The main difference are their accessories, coloring, and the design of the head decoration. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same build. For movability, we have the feet that can turn and kind of go left and right just a bit. They don't go down due to the weird construction and how top heavy these things are. They didn't make a way for them to stand. The arms have the most flexibility. They can rotate up and down, move back and forth, and because the hands are actually built on a single stud, you can't even get them to rotate into the position you want. When it comes to their accessories, they will have a bar that will go into the middle of a round plate in between all these little finger stubs so they can hold their interesting things like the flower and the spear. They each have a hidden compartment on the top of their head. You lift it off and you have a little design on the inside. You can even put a little trinket in there. And the nice thing is there is no stickers in either of these sets. So their faces are all printed, and you get some pretty interesting elements. I would also say this is kind of getting into Lego's standard procedure when it comes to designing spherical shapes using these triangular signs, triangular signs that are built onto curved, angled bars. And we've seen this a number of times with the ball from Pixar's Luxor JR ball, the Slinky Dog's back of his head, and now here in the Kakamoras. It's a pretty cool design. So this is actually a very easy entryway level to check it out and take a look at it. All right, as for the more expensive set, Pua comes on a raft with a hermit crab. Hermit crab's pretty nice. It has actually a lot more articulation than Pua does. The legs are actually croissants, so that was a neat design. And you can actually maneuver the pincers around. And they actually built the hermit crab shell so that it actually attaches at an angle, giving it a very natural look. The display platform for Pua is a raft. I don't like it, but that's only because it has very limited functionality, which was kind of the whole point for it. The crab is like attached with a single hollow stud, and so it's really easy to knock off, and Pua barely has anything to attach to, which is a shame because he is an extremely dense model. So for a $70 set, this actually looks a lot smaller than many of the other ones you've seen. And that's because in order to achieve all the detailed coloring on him, even though it's just spots, they had to use a lot of elements, a lot of plates, just to get that little detail in there. And again, just like the Kakamora, anything you see printed, well, is printed, no stickers. The only movability for Pua is going to be his neck, which is on a ball joint. However, it's so heavy that it might be a little tricky to get it to the exact spot where you want it before it like tips over. And his ears. So if you want a really happy Pua, have them both up. You want to have a sad Pua, put them both down. You want to do a confused Pua, one of each. And so you have a bit of variety. The ears are connected onto a locking hinge, so they have a lot more flexibility. You can not turn the tail, which is a very, very weird element. I mean, you could twist this end tuft, but that doesn't actually change the orientation of the tail. It's all locked in with axles, just as his legs are. So the hind legs are actually locked to this position. The front legs can be twisted just a bit, but not enough to actually matter. So don't expect much in the way. What you see is what you get when it comes to Pua. So there you go. These are absolutely adorable sculpts. They really capture the characters found in Moana very, very well. However, if you're not certain about them, but they look interesting, the Kakamoras are definitely where to go to experiment with it, because they have a much lower price point. If you're all in for Moana, then I'd say Pua is fine and you can go for it. But then again, you're also probably going to buy Hi and the Kakamoras, so it can get a very expensive collection. But there you go. Sets 43292 and 43293 from Moana, Pua, and the Kakamora.